What's up, guys? In this video I want to talk about if the world is going to end, because if you consume news, if you're looking outside into the world, then many bad things are happening. We have climate change, we have war, we had COVID, and there's so many things happening, and there are many pessimistic people out there saying, yeah, the world is gonna end, this is our end of civilization, the humanity is gonna get to a final point and then it's over, and things like this. And I think it's worth it to make a video about it, because I think there is no real proof that we are on this point that anything is ending. And is everything getting bad or worse? I'm not really sure, because I think from my perspective we are responsible for our success and for our future in general, and for our future as humanity, for the future of the planet. And I think, oh my god, I hope I can film here because there's so many flies around me, but I try to ignore them. So I think we have the responsibility to make something out of our existence. I made a couple of videos about this topic, that we don't even know where we are, that we don't even know why we live here. But I think the final case, what we can do about this, is just enjoy it and make the best out of it. So, and if I think about civilization and the things that are happening in the world, then I think it's the same. For example, I think back like 5 years. Oh my god, is COVID 5 years? No, I think it was like 4 years ago when COVID started. Then many people freaked out. I think you remember it, when the people got into the grocery stores and bought everything. People started wearing masks and were like completely oversensitive and things like this. So it was completely crazy. And I think many people also thought that maybe this is the end of civilization. I think it's definitely not the point, because right now, 5 years later, we know that it was not that bad. And I think some things like this are always happening. We always had, since the beginning of humanity, some things like challenges for the whole world, and we had to fit in, we had to react, and then at the end it worked out. So yeah, I think many people have also this philosophy that they believe in something, that it's religion or something else, and at the end everything will be good. And I think this is the best mindset you can have, because what else is better? I think if you think about in general your mindset, an optimist that was always wrong has definitely a better life than a pessimist that was always right, and he said, yeah, the world is gonna end, and at the last second of his life he said, I told you, right now we're going to die. But I think you have to just get happy and enjoy your existence, and then everything will be fine. And yeah, if we go back, or if we go on after the starting of COVID, like a few years after it, then I think the war in Ukraine started, and there were also some bad news, and then something started like, oh my god, there's some nuclear stuff in behind, maybe we're gonna get a third world war in the next weeks. And it was completely crazy, but at the end nothing really happened. Right now it's the same with Israel and Iran, and things are happening. And I think for real, we can't just do what we have in our hands, what we can change. I think we don't have such a big impact on politics and on the stuff that's right now happening. So we definitely have to focus on what we can do. And this is, for example, just stay calm. This is also what I heard, I think today, a few days ago. The best thing you can do is just stay calm. Because if you're acting out of anger, then you're just aggressive, and then you're doing some dumb stuff and you're panicking. But if you're just calm, if you enjoy the existence, then it's the best you can do. And if you see pessimistic or whatever, that we have a world war in a few weeks or whatever, then the best thing is still that you can enjoy this week. Think about, what will you do if you die in like 2 weeks? Will you just live in this fear and anger? Oh my god, I have just 2 weeks left. Or do you want to enjoy it? Do you want to meet some friends? Do you want to meet the family? Do some crazy activities? Do you want to leave something behind for the humanity or whatever? So I think we all are just we all are in this place of our existence, and we have in our hands what we can do about it. And it doesn't matter how many time we have left or whatever. I think the best is to just exist in love and peace, and then we can do the best we are able. So, what do I think about if the world is getting worse, and if you just think about politics? I'm not really thinking that the world is gonna end. So, as I said, when we think back like a few hundred years or also a few thousand years, there were always some kind of challenges. For example, if you go back into Ice Age, maybe when we get into an Ice Age in a few hundred years, then people are also thinking, okay, this is ending. Or if there comes a giant asteroid or something and bombs away half of humanity or whatever, or if they're starting a nuclear war, I think it's definitely not the end of humanity, because we are so many people out here, and I think it's not really, yeah, how should I say? I've heard enough speeches of people that just said that they don't think that humanity is really ending or whatever. And I think it's just this huge amount of loud pessimists out there that are just predicting the bad future. And I think it's also kind of connected to this stuff when you just think about what is the bad stuff happening. I think one point is politics, is news, just some bad things happening out there. And then you have to think about what you really can change of it. Then I think a little bit something is climate change. I think it's maybe also kind of connected to politics, because they have to act, they have to do something about it. And another thing is also like this topic of people that just saying the new generation Z or whatever are completely bad, and they're just scrolling on the phone, wasting their time, and this could not be our future. And yeah, when I think about this, then we definitely have some big challenges we have to face. I think if we just think about TikTok, for example, the attention span is definitely getting worse and worse when you're just scrolling, seeking for dopamine and things like this. But I don't think that this is really the end. And yeah, then you can also compare it to the past. I've also heard some, I think this were really some speeches of people for like 2000 years ago. And these people also said the new generation has no respect for the elder ones and something like this. And I think this is a phenomenon that's happening for every generation. And I don't know really why, but I think at the end, every generation has its problems and its challenges in its life. Maybe it's also something like the youth is definitely not completely ready for adulthood, and it's just facing some new things, and maybe they are just kind of weird. They don't have so many responsibility in them, but if you grow older, then I think something is changing and we can get better. But I think that's another topic. So yes, what else is bad or getting worse in the world? I'm not really sure. As I said, we have challenges, but I think our best reaction onto these challenges is not to panic or to run out and scream out of anger and of fear of the future. I think we have to accept it. We have to analyze what's really happening, and then we can do something about it. And it can be something small. For example, if you want to do something about climate, then you go somewhere by a bike, then you just try to do your own impact, or you trying to do the right things in politics. I don't think that you have to go into politics, because if I think about the German stuff, they're also slow and everything is just about talking, and the best talker is getting all the votes. So this is also weird. But for example, in selection, or now it's called election, so in election you can vote for the right person, or the person you think is doing the best for the future. This is something. And if I think about other things, if you want to create peace in the world, then start by yourself. Be peaceful. You have to represent the peace in yourself, and then other people will follow you. Maybe that's it. So I think this is the conclusion for me, to just stay in calmness and not be affected by everything that's happening in the outside. As I said in another video, I don't consume so many news because it's just freaking you out. Another thing is you definitely maybe can meditate, because if you meditate, then you can really be conscious about what your thoughts are, and you can also stop some negative thoughts, for example, and then you can really just direct the direction where you want to go. This is pretty nice. So yeah, I don't have any much more about it to say. Let me definitely know what you think about the world at the moment. Is it getting worse? Are we at the end of the existence? Let me definitely know. I'm pretty curious about your comments on it, and see you in the next video. Bye.